Good day everyone. My name is Sylvia Jaimala Anak Perempuan Saravanan, matrix number PC24128, and today I will talk about the disruption at the Strait of Hormuz. The globalized economy today has seen a significant interrelationship of supply chains, which cut across countries and different regions to allow smooth flow of materials and completed products. Although this interconnectedness has been known to enhance efficiency and lower cost, it makes it more susceptible to external shocks, such as geopolitical tensions, natural disasters, transportation bottlenecks, and so on. Consequently, a small violation on an important arterial logistic can have harmful effects on numerous industries or nations. Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important maritime choke points in the world. This sea passage is important since it is a major transit pathway of nearly 20% world oil and petrochemical exportations. Because it is strategic, any instability within this area will have a great effect in global trade, freights, and reliability of supply chain. By 2025, the disruption of shipping operations in the Strait of Hormuz resulted due to increased tension in the Middle East because of geopolitics. Shipping businesses were exposed to greater exposure to risk, delays, and insurance, which led to a rise of operational expenses. Many vessels, as a mitigation measure, were diverted around the Cape of Good Hope, a significantly longer route which had a substantial impact on the transit time and logistic costs. The case study is based on Jacobs Vision Manufacturing SDN a Malaysian firm which imports raw materials of plastic resin in the Middle East, where it will be used to manufacture packaging products. The company also has a high dependency on one supplier in the region and is mostly dependent on sea freight. This upheaval thus presented great challenges to its supply chain operations, such as high cost of transportation, long lead times, and high risk of production breaks. Today, I will explain the effect of the supply disruption on the operations of ABC Manufacturing, analyze how this has raised transportation costs, and also discuss the effects of the longer lead times. Moreover, I will also suggest effective supply chain policies to implement in order to amplify resilience and mitigate effects of such disruptions in the future. This analysis would be vital in improving the relevance of the flexibility and risk management in the contemporary supply chain management, along with strategic planning. The interference has produced multidimensional effects of cost, type, and dependability in operations. These effects have connections and cumulatively pull down the overall effectiveness of the supply chain. First of all, increased transportation costs. The short-term and most obvious effect is the striking rise in freight heights. The price per container increased to USD 1950, and this is a huge increment in the logistic cost. Transportation constitutes a significant element of the cost of logistics, so this growth directly increases profitability. In case the company opts to transfer the cost to the customers, the company might experience less demand on the price of products. Alternatively, internalizing the cost will undermine the financial performance. The second impact is lengthy lead times and delays. The change in route to the Cape of Good Hope added a transport time of 18 days to a new 30 days and port delay of an extra 4 days, making a total of 34 days. This almost doubles the initial lead time and interface with supply and production. Prolonged lead time decreases responsiveness in the supply chain and adds uncertainty. Third is risk of higher disruption in production. The other disruption poses a 10% of risk loss in production per month, which is a crucial operational concern. As the company relies on one supplier, as 80% of them are located in the Middle East, any slack in the supply has a direct impact on its continuity in the production. This underscores the unresilient supply chain. Cost analysis is essential in understanding the financial impact of the disruption and supporting decision-making in supply chain management. First of all, the original monthly transportation cost. The original freight rate is USD 1,200 per container, while the monthly shipment volume is 40 containers. Therefore, the original cost is USD 48,000. As for the new monthly transportation cost, the new freight height is USD 1950 per container. Therefore, the new cost becomes USD 78,000. The increase in monthly cost is now USD 30,000. Lead time is an important measure of performance in supply chain management because it affects decisions about inventory, production planning, and customer service levels. First of all, it affects how you manage your inventory. The company has to rethink its inventory policy because the lead time is longer and less certain. With the previous lead time of 18 days, a safety stock of 10 days might have been enough to cover small delays. The chance of running out of stock goes up a lot because the lead time is almost twice as long. The company needs to raise its safety stock in order to keep the same level of service. This means keeping more raw materials on hand to guard against delays and changes. This lowers the chance of production stops, but it also raises the cost of holding inventory, such as warehousing, insurance, and capital costs. Other than that, it has an effect on production operations. Longer lead times make it harder to plan production because they make it harder to know when raw materials will be available. In the past, the company could count on delivery schedules that were fairly predictable. Now, though, delays are longer and less certain. This uncertainty could lead to a number of operational problems. For instance, if materials don't show up on time, production lines may have to wait. Underusing machines and workers can lower overall productivity and raise the cost of making each unit. In the worst cases, long delays can stop production altogether, which can lead to big financial losses and missed delivery deadlines. Moreover, it has an effect on planning and predicting demand. The company has to guess how much demand there will be in the future when lead times are longer. This makes it more likely that forecasts will be wrong because it's harder and less accurate to predict customer demand over a longer period of time. If you make wrong predictions, you might end up with too much or too little stock. When you have too much inventory, your holding costs go up. When you don't have enough, you lose sales and customers are unhappy. So, planning for demand gets harder and needs more advanced ways to predict and analyze data. Increased transit time also impacts customer service and responsiveness. Customer delivery lead times have increased by 7 days, which has a direct impact on service performance. Customers expect prompt, dependable, and consistent delivery in today's supply networks. Customer satisfaction and trust may suffer as a result of any delay. Longer delivery delays limit the company's capacity to manage sudden or urgent demand and make it less responsive to customer demands. Customers may move to rivals that can provide quicker and more dependable service as a result. Delays can also erode long-term client relationships and harm the company's reputation. To mitigate the impact of similar disruptions, ABC Manufacturing can adopt several proactive and resilient supply strategies. There are two key strategies that are recommended. First of all, diversification and multiple sourcing. Relying on an 80% supply dependency from one region exposes the company to high geopolitical risk. Establishing multiple sourcing arrangements from alternative regions will create supply flexibility and reduces exposure to regional disruptions. The next strategy is strategic inventory and safety stock management. ABC should adopt a buffer or regional inventory strategy, where raw materials are held in central or bonded warehouses closer to production facilities. In my opinion, ABC Manufacturing should move from single sourcing to a multiple sourcing strategy. A multiple sourcing strategy reduces supply risk and has greater flexibility. Multiple sourcing minimizes dependence on one geopolitical region and reduces the risk of supply disruption due to political instability, natural disasters, or port congestion. This diversification enhances supply continuity and allows quicker switching between suppliers during disruption. Other than that, it also improves competitive advantage and negotiation power. Using multiple suppliers increases competition among suppliers, leading to better pricing, improved quality, and innovation. It also enhances flexibility in lead time management and allows the company to balance cost efficiency with reliability, supporting a resilient and agile supply chain strategy. The 2025 Strait of Hormuz disruption revealed the vulnerability of globalized supply chains to geopolitical instability. ABC Manufacturing faced cost escalation, delivery delays, and production inefficiencies. Analysis shows a monthly freight cost increase of USD 30,000, along with significantly longer lead times, impacting customer service and inventory flow. Strategically, strengthening supply chain resilience is vital. Actions such as supplier diversification, strategic inventory management, and transport route flexibility can safeguard operations against external shocks. Transitioning from single to multiple sourcing supports both operational resilience and long-term sustainability. By implementing these improvements, ABC Manufacturing can enhance its supply chain agility, ensure customer satisfaction, and maintain production stability and global disruptions. That is all from me. Thank you.